Hello again, Bill Weir, ABC News Nightline, and this could be big, perhaps the most exciting medical breakthrough I've heard about in the last few years anyway. So I just got back from this mind-blowing assignment at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. It was fantastic. We were there to actually do a series on organ transplants, and this is Jessica. She's waiting for a heart and liver, sweetest person you'd ever want to meet. This is Coulter. We watched him have an open heart surgery, his second heart transplant of his little life. And then the next day he's up playing with Darth Vader. It's pretty stunning. But as exciting as all of that is, I met a guy by the name of Dr. Tim Nelson, good Wisconsin boy, who was telling me that transplants, as magnificent as they are just a stepping stone to the next big thing, which is using adult stem cells to heal ourselves. Here's how it works. They used me as sort of the guinea pig in this experiment, used a little biopsy knife. It looks like a kind of a cigar plug cutter to dig some tissue out of my arm. And the plan is they're going to then, in the lab, break that up into a bunch of little different pieces called fibroblasts. Now, these are the glue, the mortar, when it comes to wound healing. And once they have it broken down into that state, they can turn then into induced pluripotent stem cells. So it's sort of like erasing the hard drive of those particular cells and convincing them that they're the sort of stem cell we all have when we're embryos. And that cell can grow to be cardiac tissue or brain tissue, lung, bone, whatever you need in your body. And the most stunning example of the advances they've made is when he took me into this laboratory, opened up an incubator, pulled out a tray of these samples, and actually watched living cardiac tissue beating under the microscope. Now, this came out of somebody's arm, but they have convinced it that it is heart tissue, and it beats at the same rate of the donor's heart. It's staggering to think about the implications.
What do you see?
It's pulsing, it's beating.
You're looking at human cardiac tissue that's been bioengineered from a piece of skin that now is learned how to function like a heart muscle. So you are actually looking at somebody's heart muscle right now.
Even more freaky is the idea that they're also growing brain tissue in these trays. And by using dye, they can actually chart the electric impulses that are going on in your brain right now.
If you start seeing neurons in there, you start thinking, my gosh, what are they thinking?
Right? Now, in about 5 months, Dr. Nelson says there's an 80% chance I'll be able to go back to Mayo and be the first person in history to watch his heart tissue beating outside his body. And the grand plan for this is, say one day I have a heart attack and a chunk of my ticker dies. Rather than transplant the entire heart, they could inject those adult stem cells into the damaged area and it would heal itself the same way that my arm will heal from that biopsy. Pretty cool, huh? I'll keep you posted as we go back and check on my little tissue sample there. And if you have any ideas you've heard about that are this exciting, please hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Bill Weir ABC. You can also find me on Facebook. And I'll see you next time on This Could Be Big.